Hi guys, it's me, Kylie. I was in the mood to film, and I was like, what should I film? And Brianna was like, wrap up? And I'm like, maybe. But I'm gonna do that today. So, oh, I need more coffee, hold on. Okay. Alrighty. So, like I said, this video is gonna be my wrap up for March. And I'm a little out of it today. My hair's up in a ponytail because I didn't want to deal with it, but bear with me. So with March, it was kind of an interesting reading month. Like, I went through this phase where I was like, no booktube, no more book club, no cut back on my reading. I don't know why, because I still love all those things, but I only got 4 books in, and I guess that's what we're going to share today. So, I guess I'll start with the first one I read. I did make a review of this as well as a reading vlog, but I read Tangerine by Christine Mangan, and I don't have it anymore. It was a library copy, but let's see, what did I give that? Oh yeah, that's right. I love that book. It was a 5-star. I really loved it. I won't go too much into depth because I'm sure you've already seen the review, and if you haven't, you should really check it out. But I read that book, and it's mostly about this couple who moved to Tangier in Morocco, and one day, they have kind of a rocky marriage, but one day, her like college kind of like ex-bestie like shows up, and she's like, sure, you can stay in my house. And while they're kind of like reconnecting and figuring things out, all the drama on why they're ex-friends kind of appears, and some extra stuff happens, and you guys, it was so wonderful. I'm not very good at these kind of reviews, but it was so wonderful, you guys. Like, seriously, 5 stars. The writing was beautiful. It was like lyrical but also straightforward, which I like lyrical writing sometimes if it's done right. Like, if it's not, if it's too flowery or whatever, I have a hard time like understanding what's happening. I just like my writing to be to the point, but this one I think had a really good mix of it. The storytelling was great. It was slow burn, but it was still like there were things happening still that like really kept me intrigued. I highly recommend that if you like kind of like mystery thriller type stuff. So let's see. The next book I read is An Anonymous Girl by Greer Hendricks and Sarah Pekkanen. I believe that's right. I gave this a 3.5 stars. Yeah, that's right. I gave it a 3.5 stars. I felt similarly to this one as I did to The Wife Between Us. It was good, but it didn't hit hard for me. Honestly, like, just wasn't like my thing quite. I still really enjoyed it. I enjoyed both of them, but it just wasn't quite for me. So I gave it 3.5 stars. It was alright. If you don't know, it's like a stalker story, and I hope I'm explaining it right. My memory is kind of hazy on it, but it's about this woman who enters into this like paid trial program, I think, and she just gets closer and closer to this doctor who is actually running the program. It's like a study program, you get paid for it, and you know, it's just very stalkery. It's hard to explain more than that without getting spoilery, so I'm just gonna leave it at that. I'm sure you guys have heard a million things about it already, but 3.5 stars. Not bad overall. And then I read, this one's probably my most controversial one, but I read Autobiography by Christina Lauren. Christina Lauren, if you don't know, they are a duo writing author team. So Christina Lauren. Autobiography is about a boy who's raised, they say agnostic, but I think it's more atheist. who moves to a new town in Utah where it's very Mormon populated, and he is bisexual. It's very clear from the get-go. He knows he's bisexual. He's out to his family, but not his other people that he knows. And he kind of starts falling for this boy who is Mormon. And so I gave that one 3.5 stars as well. My main issue, number one, it's not a genre I typically pick up, so I wasn't as like intrigued with it, but number two, I didn't really feel like the bisexual representation was really done well. And I'm kind of struggling with that, just mostly. So yeah, if you don't know, I am bisexual, so I have some thoughts on that. But throughout the book, he's constantly like sexualizing this character and just talking about sex and like masturbation and all of these sorts of like sex-centric things. And I'm not saying that sex is bad, I'm just saying there is a stigma with bisexual people in media, so books, movies, TV shows, where they are kind of oversexed, where all they think about is sex. They're cheaters, they are liars, things like that. And I just didn't really appreciate that. I didn't appreciate the focus specifically on how turned on this other boy made him, if that makes sense. I do think, though, that it definitely has its place, and I thought it was very important to bring it up because bisexuality is like one of the most controversial orientations, I think. I don't know, I'm probably digging myself a deep hole right now, but it really is. There's a lot of stigma about it. There's a lot of misunderstanding, and just from my own shoes, that's what I got. I did think it was so cute though, like the story, I did enjoy it, but not my cup of tea, just the genre of the book, and just a few little issues here and there with the representation of bisexual people. But overall, I think it was super cute. If you're looking for like a cute LGBT romance story, I definitely recommend this one. I just want to, you know, shameless self-promo here, but I did start a blog last month, and my first review was on autobiography. I'll link it down below if you would like to hear my thoughts a little more articulated, because I'm terrible with explaining things in person, as in person as talking to a camera is, but I will definitely leave that below. So we are on the last book of the month that I read in March, and that would be The Tattooist of Auschwitz by Heather Morris. I gave this a 4.5 stars, and again, historical fiction isn't really my thing, so that's kind of where it is. I'm not very drawn to historical fiction, so I wasn't very interested in it, but this was required reading, like, if you will. It was for my book club, Literary Alliance. That will also be linked down below, as it always is, but for the month of March we all read The Tattooist of Auschwitz, and this is it's based on the true story, but it's fictionalized, and it's about the tattooist of Auschwitz who kind of falls in love with one of the other like prisoners, and he vows to himself that he's gonna make it out alive so that he can live a life with this woman who is in the concentration camp with him. You guys, I enjoyed this far more than I thought I would, but it wasn't like a hard hitter for me, although I do think it's a very important book to read. It was very fast-paced. There was so much happening, and because I actually have the book right here, it's a small book, so I think it probably could have benefited by being a little bit longer, but I overall really enjoyed it. It was very interesting, and it made me feel really humbled, if that makes sense. Like, I'm not saying my problems aren't like worthy problems, but it definitely made me feel like, oh, I'm doing so much better than I thought. And I think that's important to bring up as well when you're talking about such a heavy topic like the Holocaust, concentration camps, Nazi Germany, things like that. I felt like this book was important even if it wasn't necessarily my cup of tea. I don't know how else to explain it, but I gave it 4.5 stars and it was wonderful. So that's all I read in March. Wow, okay. Yeah, like I said, I didn't read a lot because I went through a weird like mental health thing. But yeah, what did you read in March? Let me know your thoughts on any of these books, if you read them, if you have read them before. If you're going to read them, I'd like to know that too. I would love to have a discussion with people in the comments and stuff like that. Anyways, I'm gonna stop rambling now. You guys have a great day. Bye.